I'm at one of the venues we provide bird of prey flying shows for throughout many years and on a regular basis. I'm at Adventure Valley in Durham, and it's considered to be the largest family attraction in the northeast of England. They've got a large indoor soft play area, a big cafe, they've got loads of outdoor play areas, including this castle I'm standing next to right now, and we have this little arena down here for some flying shows, which I'll show you a little bit of in just a moment. Now behind me we have this nice little picnicky area here, which has been recently re-gravelled, as it were, and you'll notice a very tall post on the corner there. Two things I want to say about that post. One, it's a great place for our birds to land. Secondly, that post was one of a number of posts that used to be here because they used to have a very large aviary here that was as tall as that. I think it's probably about 18 foot high, and it was the whole of this space, massive aviary, big net over it, and it used to have a vulture in there, which is why this little area is called Vulture Valley. Then that vulture, which was called Daisy, I used to work with her, a Rappel's griffon vulture, she sadly passed away. She was quite old, and those African vultures, those old world vultures, can be quite sickly actually. She passed away, and then they got a caracara in here for a while, and then the falcon who used to work here sort of moved on to other things. So they've now turned it into this. But I have memories of this big aviary and doing flying shows back in the day, over 10 years ago here, and I'm just so pleased to have kept that perch in. So I'm now going to show you a few highlights of the day as I cover the flying shows here at Adventure Valley. Okay, good afternoon everyone, my name's Ryan, I'm from Owl Adventures, and we've got a slightly grey day, but I think we'll be okay. So I'm going to fly a few different birds for you. The first bird I've got is quite a young owl and quite a noisy one, which I find interesting because her name, when she wants to come out, come on then, her name really would suggest she's a lot quieter. So this owl is called Whisper, and she's a barn owl. Now I'm going to cast her off gently in that direction, and we'll see what we get out of her today. There you go. Now, often it's very windy here. It's not too bad right now, which does make the flying quite interesting as the birds get blown left and right. And of course, a barn owl doesn't weigh very much. It's only about 10.5 ounces, so there's not a lot to it. Now, their feathers are very soft. That means they fly silently. They like to sneak up on their prey. And of course, in the wild, an owl like this is not going to be screeching whilst it's hunting, because it's a bit like going, warning, owl, warning, danger, and all the rodents would run away, of course. Now, at this point, I could do with a volunteer. Any willing volunteers? Yeah, just to clean my car, is that all right? I'm only kidding, of course. Do you want to come down this way? That's it, fantastic. Should we give her something to eat? I think we should, shouldn't we? There we go. Brilliant stuff. Eat that down. Should we give this young chap a round of applause, everybody? He's done very well. You look like a master doing that. You know, you've done so well that when you go back over here now, is it your dad with you today? Yeah, he's going to give you £20. Well done. Off you go. Come on then. There we go. Nice and methodical. Okay, this is Henrietta, and she is a European eagle owl. Now, she is one of the largest types around the world. We know she's a female because of her size. Girls are bigger than boys in most birds of prey. And she is 23 years old. So she's been doing this job now for quite a while. She knows what she's doing, but she is a little bit lazy. That is quite common of these large owls. She's at an age now where she doesn't really do a lot of flying. She can fly, she largely chooses not to. She will jump about. We'll try and get her onto one of these rocks over here. What I tend to have to do though is a bit more walking first. So she's getting quite fast actually, I must admit. So if I go over this way a little bit, let me come. There we go. Wow, look at that. Oh, you made it, girl. Should we give Henrietta a round of applause? That's pretty good for her age. Now she has got a wingspan of about 6 feet. I'm gonna jump up here. There we go. When she's fully gliding, and she has got, as you can probably see when she gets a bit closer to you, big fluffy feet there, and the bigger the feet on any bird of prey, the bigger the prey they'd catch. So we're going to finish this display with a hawk. Now these hawks are quite well known in falconry. This is a Harris hawk. They're well known because they're very intelligent birds. I'll explain a bit more about that in a moment. His name is Maverick He's called Maverick because he is American and a good flyer. That's the reason anyway. So what I'll do, I'm going to cast him in that direction. Watch your heads. Don't worry, not too low, is he? Now he'll make good use of the area. Lots of things for him to land on. We'll hopefully even get him on that tall perch over there as well. Now, someone on my YouTube video, one of my YouTube videos recently commented on why do you launch the bird like that, just out of interest. And I'll show you what they mean. What I was doing was this, launching off like that, which to some people can look a little bit extreme, I suppose. But what we're doing is just giving that bird some direction. We're saying, go off in this direction or in that direction. I can't fully control which way he flies, but to a certain degree I can. If I'm saying in that way, he'll probably land on the castle or whatever it might be. So we'll get a nice long flight over here. I'll go right into this corner. He's very visual. He knows I'm about to bring my hand up. And in he comes just like that. Fantastic. They also share the food among the neighbourhood of hawk, and they babysit for each other. Kind of a community bird. This means we've got a bird of prey that's much more reliable and far easier to train than, say, a red-tailed hawk or a goshawk or something like that. Now, that doesn't mean I'm advocating people go out and get Harris hawks. They are a great beginner's bird, but you still have to really learn what you're doing, learn the techniques, how to weight management of the bird and how to fly them and train them, all the husbandry, all the health checks and all that kind of stuff. Otherwise you are at risk of perhaps losing the bird or it dying unnecessarily. Now, because we're here for the whole Easter holidays, the birds I'm flying here are flying really well, doing 3 shows a day, because partly they're getting used to the area. Now, to be fair, I can do lots of different events and arenas and they still fly pretty well, but there can be different distractions and things like this. Whereas Maverick here, he knows the layout now very well. In fact, last year he got blown off into the woods half a mile over there on one occasion. So he definitely knows the area well. Now I need you all to count to 3 really loud for me, okay? We're going to count to 3 really loud. What's going to happen when we count to 3, he'll set off. He knows the count means food. In fact, I'll prove it to you. I'll put the food back in the bag there. I'm showing him I've no food. If we count to 3 all together, I guarantee he'll set off by the time we get to 2. We ready? Let's count. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. There you go, you see. He hears that count and he thinks, oh, food, fly. Right. Are we ready with the count? 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Yay! Round of applause for Maverick, everybody, who very successfully caught that. There was almost a backflip there, wasn't it? That's what I like to do. You see, the thing about the catch is it's really good for the bird. It's great for us because it's great fun to watch, but it's also great for the bird from a point of enrichment. Now, enrichment is a bit like when you have a dog and you provide it with a toy or a bone, or you take it for walks so it catches a stick. That's enrichment. And we have to provide enrichment for the birds as well. Some birds of prey, it's a little bit difficult to do it with, but hawks, much easier, especially Harris hawks, because they will sometimes solve puzzles and do these little bits and pieces. And free flying really is good enrichment. And when we throw it in the air, he's got to use his eyesight more, his agility more, and his general strength in flying to catch it in the air. So it's really good for him. Should we give him one more round of applause? He's done really well, hasn't he? Lovely stuff.